Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to dive deep into one of the most powerful yet misunderstood tools in the peak productivity arsenal, the to-do list. There are tons of different theories and practices around how to handle a to-do list, and I'm going to talk today about one of the oldest, the Ivy Lee method. The Ivy Lee method has been around for just over a century now and can provide you with a new way of thinking about what you have to do each day, so that you can not just be more productive, but more impactful. I'm Sara Stilleke. I'm a scientist, and my channel is all about becoming a peak performer. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe to my channel to keep up to date on my weekly videos. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about where the Ivy Lee method came from and what it is. As legend has it, way back in 1918, the president of the Bethlehem Steel Corporation, Charles M. Schwab, was looking for ways to improve the performance of his team. Schwab hired a top productivity consultant, Ivy Lee, to consult with his team to get more things done. Ivy Lee agreed to work for free for 3 months, and the agreement was that at the end of the 3 months, Schwab would pay Lee whatever fee he felt like Lee had earned. After 3 months, Schwab was so impressed that he paid Lee $25,000, which is worth about $400,000 in today's dollars. Now, I don't know how much of this story is truth versus legend, but people have been successfully using Ivy Lee's simple method of productivity for 100 years, with great results. Here is the method. The first step to the Ivy Lee method is to write out 6 things that you want to accomplish the next day. You can write out less than 6 things if you want, but no more than 6. The second step is to prioritize the 6 things on the list. Rewrite your list beginning with the most important thing and ending with the least important thing. When the new day arrives, the third step is to begin working on the first task from your list. Don't focus on anything but that first task on your list. Once the first task is complete, step 4 is to continue working down your list in order of priority, one task at a time. At the end of the day, any of the 6 items that you did not complete can go on the list for the next day. And that's it! As you can see, the Ivy Lee method is super simple, but also very powerful. For the rest of this video, I'm going to dissect the Ivy Lee method in more depth and look at why this simple method has been working for people for over a century. The first reason why the Ivy Lee method works is because it forces you to define a limited number of things that you want to accomplish each day. There is a psychological phenomenon known as decision fatigue, which basically means that the human brain is only capable of making a certain number of decisions at a time, and too much decision making can reduce the quality of further decisions and can lead to procrastination. By defining ahead of time what 6 tasks you will get completed the next day, when the next day arrives, the decision-making about what to do has already been accomplished, so you start the day with more mental energy and less decision fatigue. The simple act of writing out your list also helps reduce decision fatigue. The human brain is great at coming up with new ideas, but is not all that great at remembering them all. By actually writing down your to-do list, either virtually or physically, your list will no longer be stored in your brain. This frees up mental bandwidth and creative energy. The second benefit to the Ivy Lee method is that it helps you prioritize tasks that will actually make an impact on your life. Have you ever been busy and occupied all day long, only to realize that nothing important actually got done? Human beings are great at filling our time, but being busy for the sake of being busy isn't really the best use of that time. By forcing you to narrow down your daily to-do list to only 6 things, the Ivy Lee method forces you to think about what is really important. When you only get to choose 6 things to focus on, it's a safe bet that you will be a little more discerning with how you spend your time. The very act of defining your own tasks and writing them down can be beneficial as well. Often the items on our to-do list are vague or ambiguous, but can be quickly clarified with a bit of front-end thinking. As an example of this, let's say that you are due for your regular dental checkup, so you put "go to dentist" on your to-do list. Seems reasonable, but when you go to do that item, you encounter some issues. In order to go to the dentist, don't you need to call and make an appointment first? Then you remember that your regular dentist recently retired and closed their practice, so you will need to find a new dentist. But before you can find a new dentist, you need to check with your dental insurance to find a local dentist that is covered. So the more you think about it, go to dentist is not a single action for your to-do list, but is a project comprised of several different tasks. The first of which should be put on a to-do list as check insurance website for list of local dentists that take my insurance. The Ivy Lee method can encourage you to think through these initially ambiguous tasks earlier, so that when it comes time to implement, you just need to do a few quick internet searches and make a few phone calls. The third benefit of the Ivy Lee method is that it can help you focus. Plenty of research has shown that multitasking is not beneficial, and that it can cause issues with productivity and hurt the quality of our results. Knowing that, I do often find it difficult not to multitask. Sometimes it happens without me even noticing. With the Ivy Lee method, it is important to focus entirely on your top priority task until it is complete, and then move on to the next task. It sounds silly, but when I first implemented the Ivy Lee method, simply remembering that multitasking was against the rules helped me stay on track with completing one item at a time. It felt odd at first, but after a bit of practice, I noticed that I was completing individual tasks faster and with better results. I also felt a little burst of accomplishment after completing a task because I knew that I had been fully focused on it and saw it through to completion. This helped me minimize distractions and allowed me permission to focus on one thing at a time. At the end of the list, I felt very accomplished as opposed to just feeling busy. If you've never tried the Ivy Lee method before, I would encourage you to commit to trying it for just 1 month to see if it works for you. At the end of the month, you can decide if this is something worth continuing to practice, or if it wasn't the right technique for you, you'll know. Either way, you will have focused on trying something new and given it a chance to impact your productivity. Hopefully you will find that this method creates more momentum and motivation in your life and helps you get more done with less of that busy and overwhelmed feeling. I'm curious to hear if you've ever tried the Ivy Lee method and how it worked out for you. Let me know below in the comments and feel free to share your ideas about what worked and what didn't work. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.